About handling scrolling, tapping, dragging, and entering the text in the widget testing context. So, typically, these tapping, dragging, entering text, these are all the user interactions with a Flutter app. So, basically, in this app, we are trying to automate these interactions and test some flow. Okay, so let's read through some like many widgets not only display information but also they respond to the user interactions as mentioned. So for example, buttons, text field of entering text, etc. So for testing these interactions, we need to simulate them in a test environment. So if you are familiar with web, you might have used Selenium, etc. tools for web automation. So here we are using in the Flutter widget tester library, which we had used earlier also. So we will use these methods whose names are very intuitive: enter text, tap, and drag. So in a lot of these interactions, user updates the state of the app, okay, by doing those interactions. In the test environment, Flutter doesn't automatically rebuild widgets when this state changes. So to ensure that the widget tree is rebuilt, we will call pump or pump and settle methods, which are provided by widget tester to force the rebuild. So now let's do these steps. We will create a widget to test. So sorry, for this example, we'll create a basic app that which will test three flows. Okay, first is entering text into the text field. Second is tapping a floating action button to add the text to a list of to-dos. And then third one is swiping to dismiss to remove the item from the list. So let's create a to-do list, and it has a state because it's a stateless widget. Then this is the state definition. We have a scaffold. We have this text with the app title here, which is the to-do list. Then we have our column. We have an expanded list list view, which basically have like item count as list view builder, which has the item count as to-dos.length. So this to-dos is basically the list of strings in an array form which we are maintaining. And so this is the item count, and the item builder will basically will take an index in the build context and will like have this to do as the indexed element of the to dos list, and we will return a dismissible basically which can be swiped and dismissed. So this is that kind of widget, and the key is this to do and index, these two. So to do is one which we have got from this list, and index is again which is provided to us. And then on dismissed, we basically remove it from the to do, which is like this list only. And we have our child as title, which is list text of to do, so which is basically again the ith indexed element of the to dos list. And we have a background color set. So this is like this this is how we form the list of elements. Now we have a floating action button, which on when pressed will basically add whatever is present in the controller text to the basically this to-dos list. So controller is basically this text editing controller, which is provided to this text field as the controller. So that whatever text is present in that will be added to the to-dos list, and basically we then clear the controller. And then we have a child, which is the icon, which add icon. So just to denote that this is used for adding. Now we enter a text in the text field in our test environment. So we pump the widget of to-do list. Then in our tester, we call the enter text method, and we find this widget by type text field, and the value is high. So we'll basically find this text field widget. So this by this finder, so we are locating this particular widget in our widget tree, and in this one we are using the enter text method to enter this particular text, which is high. So this is how we enter this text. Then third step is simple. We ensure the tapping of button adds the to do. So now we have to call the tap method on the tester, and on which element we have to call the tap method? We have to find that element. So that is the floating action button. So which is basically here. So the one with the add icon. So we are finding this widget and calling the tap method on that. And then obviously whenever we call tap, this on press thing will happen, similar to what will be happening on the user interaction of tap. And then we basically to reload it, we call the tester.pump, and now we'll expect this basically find.text high. So basically high text element, we will be expecting text widget with a text of high there. So which is basically here inside this dismissible. So we'll be able to find one widget. So how? Because that particular dismissible row in that list has been added on tapping this floating action button. So this flow has been verified. Now again, so we have verified one interaction. Now let's verify the second interaction, which is ensure swipe to dismiss removes the to do. So we'll use the drag method to perform a swipe to swipe to dismiss action. So we'll call the drag method on our tester, and then we find that widget dismissible by its type, and then we drag it by this much amount. So we provide this offset of 500. So this is the pixels we want to drag it with. Similarly, how we will like to do it with our finger, something like this. I'm just showing it by like this. Okay. So that is we are simulating here, and then we call pump and settle to like build the widget until the dismiss action animation ends, and once that ends, that is will be building, and then ensure that the item is no longer on screen. So we say that find.text high will not be found on the screen now. So because that has been removed from the to-dos list. Now this is the complete example. Hope you understood. Thank you, friends.